Hey everybody. This week, midweek message is going to be more like just a quickie. I have been experimenting and thinking about different ways of presenting information, and I'm just going to go with how I'm feeling. Happy 9/9 portal. Um, Lots of energy moving through, and I know that there's a big release that a lot of people are experiencing. I've been kind of pressed to come on and simply speak to the emotions of late and what I'm tapping into as far as how that channel is coming through to me. And while in the past selecting something um, seemed fitting, I'm not sure if that format is working for me anymore. I'm looking for more engagement, and I noticed that people are looking for something shorter. And so here it is. All right. Connecting with your energy this week, everyone who is viewing. There's a feeling of deflation, almost as if all the air has been knocked out. I'm seeing a I'm seeing like one of those balls in gym class, the ones that never stay fully deflated, or fully inflated rather. They look almost as if they are gonna bounce, and then when you go to dribble, that thing just sits there. That's the energy, that's the feeling. And the feeling is almost externally presenting as if you have, like you're full of air, not in a negative way, but that you are a formidable ball that can do the thing that needs to be done, that you can be used as a tool. When in reality, you're not full up enough in order to get the things done that you need to get done in order to fulfill the task at hand. And the question here that's being asked is, why do you feel that you have to always be the one to fulfill the task? Why is it always your job? When are you the one who gets to be taken care of and gets to implement your own self-care? There's a desire for isolation with a group of you. And this isolation, you feel guilty about it. You feel as if there needs to be an explanation. There needs to be more of a reason for you feeling the way that you feel. And that's not true. There's nothing that needs to be explained. And if anybody needs to explain anything, it's you to yourself. Because there's almost a standard that you're holding yourself to that you're not holding others to. And you're sick of this. And another group of you are experiencing this deflated sort of feeling because you're putting a lot out there and not receiving back what you're giving. And this seems like a pattern. This seems like something that is happening over and over again. And while that is true, that this pattern is occurring, you finally reached a point where you realize that you don't have all the gas in the tank in order to make these things continue to occur. Where you can't show up as your full self. You can't show up as this polished person because you can't hold the mask up to your face any longer. You realize that it's heavy. You realize that it's uncomfortable. If you think of just even COVID itself, when we were masking and the issues with what was it that people were getting, what, mask acne, I think is what I used to call it. There's something that doesn't feel natural about not being able to take a full breath, not being able to truly expose yourself. And this is going to be expressed through a blockage here in the throat, where there's going to be a lot of feelings around sinuses, drainage, allergies, a lot going on in the eyes, blurriness, ear pinging and ringing, and a lot happening in the jaw. This tension here, also moving into the teeth, is all about the desire to truly speak how you're feeling, and the concern that if you use your full voice and if you say what you really think or feel, that you'll be rejected externally by others. And that is not true. If anything, what it shows, your inability to speak out what it is you truly think and feel and want, is that blockage that continues, and that feeling of should, and that feeling of can't, and that feeling of no. When you know that there is so much more liberation within yourself that you are allowed to access. For some of you in spirit, I'm seeing daffodils. I'm also seeing the color yellow tied to the solar plexus. There's male energy coming forward that is bringing forth a feeling of Easter time, springtime. For some of you, it's very much Easter. I'm seeing an Easter egg. I'm seeing the colors around that, and I know that that is not the season that we're in. But for those of you who have lost someone in spirit on the male side, that is tied to that time frame, the message there is coming forward to bring a sense of, don't you stop doing what you think is right. It's almost a pep talk energy. There's a cheerleader vibe here. There's a push. Some of this might have to do with, I'm hearing like March Madness. This might be a connection to someone in spirit that also ties to this timeline with the Easter egg. Easter eggs can also be interpreted as those things that are used in cinematography and film study, where it's a little something that's a nugget in there for people who really truly know something that others don't. So you're going to want to pay attention to the clues that are kind of placed throughout your day-to-day life. If you think you're seeing repeating numbers, if you think you're getting a sign, if you're thinking that something is off and you notice it and you notice it again, yes, it's very much a sign. Don't wait for a sign or a sign. You are tied more into your intuition than you think. And the support from this sort of male presenting figure is coming through to say, yeah, I put that there. Yes. See me and understand that you were supported. Moving into the weekend, there's almost a feeling of pressure. This pressure is rising up into the chest, feels anxious. And this anxious energy is exacerbated by the eclipse portal that we're in, and we do have a total solar eclipse that's coming on the 21st. In this eclipse portal, lots of things are shifting and changing, so you expect the unexpected, but understand too that some of these things are truly fated, where that doesn't mean that you don't have responsibility or don't have control over how things end up falling out, and you don't. It's a matter of relinquishing control around things that you've been trying to keep your hands on. That grasp is not going to be able to take hold anymore. And you'll find that there is fatigue and there's a feeling of tiredness and a desire to want to isolate and time to want to be with yourself. Take that time. Be careful of the things that you're saying out of emotion, especially when you're feeling so depleted. This depleted energy is going to exacerbate that sort of barking back energy. And things can be taken out of context. And you have to consider that you are not the only person experiencing these extremes or these obstacles. Consider these things challenges and understand that if you were not able to properly see your way through them, they would not be coming up. And it's an opportunity for you to change your perspective around how these things can be handled. There's a monitoring vibe that is very heavy here, constantly checking, ruminating, wanting to fix, wanting to push things through, wanting to nudge, nudge, nudge. Virgo energy is going to be very strong in that regard and want the task masking and the micromanaging to be, to feel almost, it feels almost like the scratch to the itch, right? It feels like the thing that needs to be done in order for X and Y to equal Z. Understand that the equations here, the math ain't mathing for a reason, because you don't get to enact control over what is occurring. You are invited to observe things from a distance if you can zoom out in the macro sense and see things as this time being a blip on the great scheme of the great screen of your life and your existence. rather than being the only thing that you can see and very, very much targeted and tunnel vision of this concern or this challenge. Zoom out. If that seems impossible, go lie down. Go take a nap. When's the last time you ate something? Work on leaning into foods and hydration. Some of you may feel like you don't even want to eat at all, and that fasting period is exacerbated by the energies. So follow your own body's guidance through this, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I swear I say this every time. Understand that you have people in your corner and you are supported and guided and loved. And if there feels like there is an absence of that, it's because you are given the opportunity to step in for yourself and provide those things. And understand that until you can find that within yourself, it's going to be difficult for you to receive that consistently from the external world, as we are all mirrors for each other. On the world stage, this feels very scattered, eruptive, frenetic, and at the same time hollow. This duality is purposeful. Try not to get too wrapped up in the doom and gloom, and understand that everything has a time and a place and a season. And if you need to microdose what's going on in reality, do that. Do that. Let yourself have space. Okay. Those are the messages this week. I would love to hear what you think. Please interact. It really helps. I know that there are a lot of people who just watch and don't comment, don't like, don't participate, but I know that you are there. Help me, please, with this. I would appreciate you showing up for me how I show up for you. And I would love to show up for you in a deeper sense. So if you would like some assistance through this period, if you would like some connection, some support, please reach out for a private session. Check my website, send me a message, send me a DM. Okay? Have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful day. Love y'all. Peace.